in Ghana. And then you be abubo about child protection in Ghana. Child protection focus in the UK and Ghana. Now, and the program you be kasa about enoma bibre. As a country, since 1957, a challenge in terms of child protection, our children and families, and the way this is affecting them, and how do we move forward from there. As a colony, Ghana was the first country adopted into International Convention on the Rights of Children. Now, and the program on Yeshasi Efremi right, yewo Barrister Linda. And then Owaha also over joining no idea abubu about child protection matters in Ghana. Linda, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now Jenny need to say, how was it?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay. Thank you. And now yes, I will Beatrice Asante, we're chairperson for NDC North London branch. Beatrice, welcome.
And thank you, and you forgot that a presenter of Young and Prolific.
Yes, Young
in Omega Live TV. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the honor, yes.
Thank you. And Linda also do presenting on legal matters.
Exactly.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you both. Yeah. Then we also have Mr. Joseph Kwanzaa, who is the president for Ghana Association of Social Workers, GASU in London. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for bringing me on.
Yes, Ghana Social Workers Union in the UK.
In the UK.
Thank you. Now, it is saying.
Oh, Boko. Yeah, another member and tell me to make one Boko.
Yes.
So when you come early, you reach early. So
thank you.
It was a smooth journey, yeah. No problem on the traffic.
And also, Mr. Paul Seme, our founder and director of Street Children Empowerment in Ghana. Paul, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yes, I share you my
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And yes, I will Kofi Apelu, who is the leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana, who will join us at some point. And also Kofi Ghana, also independent president candidate, will also be joining at some point. Then we also have Godfred Bar Jesse, also head of Department of Social Welfare, Awing Municipal Assembly. Thank you, Godfred. It is saying. Boko na nsuo no so to ba bia wo no
nsuo to pa in fact high.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Can nsuo pa dia pa.
Okay. Thank you. We are blessed as a country. Oh, thank you. Yo, thank you.
Number one cocoa producing municipality in Ghana. Yeah, you should expect it. Yeah.
Okay, we are pleased to have you all here. And our face, Joyce Coliver, also secretary for Ghana Association of Social Workers. Joyce, are you there? I think Joyce, so you'll be at some point. Now, a physical discipline. You say Ghana is the first colony to gain independence in 1957. In fact, a very long time. And I'm not sure any I will cry Beatrice, and I say any woman. Now, following the adoption of the International Convention on the Rights of the Child by the United Nations on 5th February 1999. Ghana was the first country in the world to ratify the treaty, committing to integrate into national law. Physical discipline, we discuss about it, because a lot of parents, there's been a number of arguments about physical discipline. Obi so bon kolana na Ghana. Normal adopt to this. But in the UK here, no, the law says that you can discipline children under Section 58 of the Children Act, 1989. It says you can discipline children to an extent. Now, a lot of parents struggle with to what extent. Then we have Ghana, which is saying, say, beat the hell out of a child. Just say a lot of children are suffering and experiencing abuse. Do you think that there is public support for physical punishment for children in Ghana, which indicates that children are at risk of significant harm? With the Linda Iroba Shasie.
Okay.
Thank you.
You see, it's not just Ghana, but Ghana, UK, the world over, right? Things are changing. Popular opinion, what people think is changing. And the law moves with, we hope, the times. And we hope the law moves with what people think is the right thing to do. So the laws to do with child protection are usually retrospective. So we have the problem first, and then you bring the law in to try and correct the problem. So gone are the days where everybody quotes the Bible, for example, which is the sort of text that everybody has, or the Quran, or whatever your religious book is, that says, of course, spare the rod, spoil the child. We all know about this, right? But the law now has come to say, hang on a second. You, as the parent, are the custodian of the child.
Precisely.
But there are limits. For example, this country, in the 19th century, up to the 19th century, men were able to beat their wives
100%.
for misbehaving, I don't know, whatever the reason be, that was allowed in the UK, let alone Ghana, other countries, etc. So that now clearly cannot be done, because it is as simple as it's an assault. It doesn't matter whether you've got a reasonable excuse or whatever you say in relation to your spouse. That is out of the way now. So now what's happening with children? Now people are thinking, hang on a second, there must be a limit. Some people, like you say, beat the hell out of their children.
They're saying that
indeed.
They're saying that the children will grow up into a well responsible.
Yes.
And the responsible adult. That is the perception, the social construction of Ghana.
Yes, like you let the child spawn, right? But the problem is that, like you're saying, what is the level? Who judges this? If you're a parent and a child misbehaves, they talk back to you, they don't do the task, you beat the child. You hit them what? Once? Is once enough? Twice enough? In the UK, the measurement is on whether there is any mark, any injury, where you've beaten the child, how you've beaten, how long for, did you use an implement or an instrument, did you use your hand? Look at the size of dad, 6'5", child, 2 foot nothing. Yeah, those sort of things are the things that you use to measure. And that's why in the UK, the law has come a long way. Children's Act, as you mentioned, 2004, is when it said, no, reasonable chastisement. Yeah. So it is not about necessarily, and this is what I want people to know, not about the UK preaching to the world, as it were, or other countries preaching to the world. But all of us, you've got a different direction. Yeah, we're moving forward and become more enlightened. So when you see that parents are behaving in such a way that's inappropriate with their children, somebody has to step in. Somebody, because it's not all parents. Do
you think that in Ghana there is public support there for this form of discipline?
I don't know. That's the problem, because in Ghana there is some support, but it's like every country. In other ways, there is no support. It's my house, my child, my land. Yeah, exactly. My rules, my regulations. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. But the problem is that is not acceptable anymore. It's as simple as that.
Precisely.
Having multiple people beat your child because of something they've done is not the right thing to do anymore, because you will hurt the child.
Is it lack of parents not knowing, say, the children rights, Anna? The children have
rights? It's both. There's first, how is anyone going to know? We've had these many discussions many times before. How does the average person know that I'm not allowed to beat my child more than 4 times, 10 times, 20 times? Because to be frank, the law itself is not a clear blue line, red line, whatever you want, marking the sand. That's the issue.
Beatrice.
Okay, it's just that probably I'm from a household whereby my dad beat me and it still didn't make a blind bit of difference. So when you talk about you see, there's a difference between abuse and discipline. You know, with what you said, I know is inherited.
Yes.
Whereby the family or like parents know that if my child does something, I need to beat my child, but not to, because you know when you said that they get the uncles, probably I would have decked the uncles, because my dad, I used to do that to him. He hits me, I hit him back, and I know somebody will say rah, because I fell, and he was bigger than me.
I know when I say it in Twi, I'll be in English.
Yes.
Your dad hit you, or now also born a back.
Yeah, because I didn't see
At what age was this?
18 and 17.
But at 18, your dad was still trying to hit you.
He wasn't trying, he was.
He was.
And my point was...
Did he think, say, or power, and beat out of the hell out of you to help you to be
No, I felt he didn't have a moral ground to beat me, because his actions from where I stood, because you know, it's kind of like do as I say, not as I do. So
you're young and also now. What about when he was under like 16, 15, 12 years?
Oh, they spoiled me during that time. I was adorable till I grew up. You know, one of those things, yeah. So with me, what I say is there's a difference between discipline and abuse, and there are certain children that when you beat up, it still doesn't make a blind bit of difference. But I think the beating that you're talking about in Ghana is putting the fear on the kids. It's more of abusive, domineering aspect. It's not like a disciplinary
They
stuff.
said this, it will help them to grow up.
That's what I'm saying.
A well-behaved and responsible adult.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know why
It
they
makes
have that
the
perception.
no, but it makes a child more bitter, because anybody that the parents beat up, when they grew up, they had this animosity towards the parents, because for some strange reason there are things that they remember. They actually remember how they were beaten up. So it's more psychological. So that does not change the child. With me, when I had my boys, what I did was I knew that they wanted their PlayStation, yeah? And if they didn't do what they wanted, there's sometimes that, can I say this so that I don't get prosecuted? I used to smack them and stuff. And you know, the law says you can smack your child with an open hand, but not leave a mark. That is what what the law says.
Also, then not to have any emotional impact on the child. So that the thing is that it's a kind of implication.
That's the point.
You know, yes, the section 58 of the Children Act.
Yes.
1989, 2004.
Precisely.
You can discipline your children to an
Yes.
extent. Now the dilemma is to what extent?
The extent is for it not to become like an abusive, because when I say that, is abuse is when somebody beats the child, kicks the child, it's like bangs the kid's head on the wall. You see, there's a difference between your kid does something and you smack them.
Do you think there is public support in Ghana?
I think there is, because it's an inherited. That's
Okay.
why I'm saying that it's an inherited thing through cultural aspect, whereby when somebody's child, as you said, when somebody's child does something, what they do is they call the uncle, they call the auntie, or the mother fails. But sometimes I think because parents are dismissive of their children, they don't listen to their children, sometimes the kid misbehaving.
So children in Ghana, are they at risk of harm?
They are. With me, I feel that Ghana, because if you actually go and report to the police, I know certain people in certain cultures, if you go and you report to the police will end up still beating you on top, because they're feeling that you're being disrespectful.
So who view say
yes.
Say even parents in Ibiza, almost afraid police and anybody misbehave. Police for almost
yeah, because they say you're disrespecting your parents.
I will go to Paul and Godfred there for that. Anyway, Lordship, you are the president of Ghana Social Workers Union in the UK, and you heard the argument.
Yeah.
Do you think, say, there is a public support for physical punishment for children in Ghana?
Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I'll just do one or two things to get us emotion. But corporal punishment, what is it? Corporal punishment is crying any day. I think that has not been defined, so I'll briefly capture on that. So according to Strata and Stewart, 1999, corporal punishment is the most prevalent discipline method in which an adult intentionally inflict a degree of pain or discomfort on a child who displays behavioral difficulties, or uses any offensive language that puts injury for the purpose of correction or control. And what are the types of physical punishment?
You'll be brave.
We have hitting, slapping,
Say, in
pinching,
Ghana, or bono, or slapping, and someone, or
chopping, yeah, all these are all parental
Yes.
repertoire.
And they've got a
discipline.
cane.
They got a cane too to do that.
or the akakaduro shem kolato.
Which is very, very
is
bad.
part of it.
But be careful with that,
Mukoni
because there is
bibia.
a cultural content in it, so we need to be mindful of that. So physical punishment, the research postulates that it has never been good. One, the cognitive and intellectual development of the child is affected. the very thing that people would like to achieve, they don't achieve it. And according to Bandula, 1969, who talks about social learning theory, so that when children see things that are going on, they also learn from the people that are teaching them. As a consequence, it is not advisable to use any form of corporal
so
punishment.
in Ghana, no, corporal punishment and the public perception, the social construction, anything.
Well, Ghanaian society is paternalistic, but paternalistic.
There be
paternalistic in the sense that I think the man still hold the high. We still hold men in high esteem, and then we want to use their own things to do things, but there is a limit.
Country na tie for no omo test me say country no omo tie. Omo say won come on here din. What try you about tree na ko say tree na here.
Okay. Say yes, but ya na papa for no fi say also obo akola na. Obo na no dey. Obi all say. But the research says that's not the case.
Yes.
Because akola na obo no. One, every crowd on person. Two, also you also echo once ever bon column because like I say, the papa born into Miss Mede, Mebonibi.
Obi, sorry, Lord Chief. I think someone's thing is making noise there on the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Enti there, say over boba, say over correcting or not, to the beer and what. But mind you, time I you see ever panel so boy. Enti say, no, maybe or now on yet. And also my yes, normal.
So this has become like a family values.
Yes.
Culture
and culture.
And you know, I also share the extent like I was saying, Papa be all no more, or say me them among colana or montini. Because almost strategy of discipline is with force.
Is that why a Ghana no and colana are timid? Paul, are you there? Godfred, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Why Paul?
Yeah,
okay, so what you know about? Do you think public support for physical punishment, for children in Ghana? No. Ghanaians feel say Ubu Akolana no well-behaved child. But before we start course, hold on, now Lord Chief so coming.
Because they say I'm running assistant. Because the
you ever come round the others?
Me say assistant into no. Ebema amount for a year or more, so about bonnet banner, and this will be changing.
But are people aware of this?
People,
because you talk about family value, you talk about identity. Well, one mention family value, one mention identity, one mention culture. Say Obi Oha and bring in oh you know. Whatso Papa Bono has made them what they are. They have that kind of
it's embedded in them. Yes.
Now, how do we help the community to
break
change
the cycle
from this? But before we go down to the laws, Paul. So, Paul, is that what the social construction is? Hello, Paul. Okay, we lost Paul. Godfred, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Whether what you doing now? I mean, this is your area as well. As a head of department, now all these things going on in our country, what is your view in terms of this?
Meka say a friend say, oh, what's the Benivona category? Meka, may the best the gender rule that are linked to our family. Paul,
answer. Yes. Obeshas, yeah. Over to my small introduction. Say who you are and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the Baja say Godfrey.
Godfrey, sir.
Godfrey, that was European, but more Ghana here.
Baja say that's it. Well done. Now opposition.
Yeah. The head of department our municipal assembly.
Okay.
Yes, NT.
Okay.
Western North region of Ghana. 16 regions of Ghana.
Yeah.
16 regions. And I see one of the new regions there, Western North. Yes, in the and I'm the now. with the friends, the question I will be saying, but the better the gender role, the gender friends, the role I play our families. So we brought papa dear a day again now again for that or your papa or ebusuanu. You who say you be an who you can say or mamia and be you be a waba daye. Na badaye ne say oh who nipa esi onyesi. Ne mom you can say ne papa you be a that is the person who plays a domineering role in the family. In Timothy a idea about the various roles and responsibilities of the various actors in the I
think we are experiencing difficulties. Paul, can we have you on video? Can we have you on the screen on video? These
are some of the pressures. These are some of the pressures.
So Paul is trying to talk about the feminist perspective.
Another one key
your line, Paul, so Godfred, your line is keep on cutting out, you know, and it's so I think where you are.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Continue now. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Me about the gender rules that we have distributed in the.
Is there radio background where you are, or some background? I think.
Program
okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Very sorry.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Another one is your poverty and various societal pressures are a war parents and so. Obi wa adwe a origin no enye dada medi biscuits mama me atade dada me pekambu ene no nkeka ho origin ne a ochina ebuhia ni bedi it what they say nioma afefede ne betu nanima or the eyi friend say or the ebufuo betumi aye wake oya nsusu a community no esign say ye ewo such a community say obema ye ne ba bibia ene de ndi ono ane pa enti otumi ye no ne a ope no obi anka hwe enti akwakọ ye ade bia ewo ho one of the panel me call it panelists not all about say e bia akoka okoye bibi na akoka che police ni grapa police ni boy say about the baby. See, I am Abba. Even there is a policy in the schools. You say the fun day. As you say, even with a corporal punishment, you should have to prove to the courts.
So, would you agree, sir, that many adults in Ghana accept that almost relatives? Any other family members, so omuntimi omufena say akola no kra aju age bia anani stature na omuntimi discipline they themselves were over free omo amoma be discipline san akola no.
What's the sisi senior say discipline, what is the end result of what you are trying to do? That is the question you should ask yourself. So we plan so discipline. What is the end result that you want to achieve? That is the question that you have to ask yourself. Is there a better way to go around it? That is the question. You say
yes, your question is children should not be disciplined in that way or in that manner. And so thank you very much. Why? You better about so Godfred. Joyce, are you there? Joyce? Okay, we can't get Joyce. Linda, how committed we feel there as a country, you know, in Ghana?
Hello.
Oh, hello, Paul. Are you back now? Yeah.
Hey, I've been here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard everything. What is your own view about that?
Okay, so I would want to say that special thanks that we Edin Komafa very important topic we say. And Kofi that wants to pass my Jumadia and Kopo great meeting in Ghana almost Manoni. Platform say na at the channel was say more Sena social workers UK president Kayeno. The concept of beating, which is its former name being lynching or deriving its meaning from lynch, it can be traced to our slave history. If you go really critically, look at it critically, now you know, taboos, any laws, needing when I own. Always say and so never, but I just say those laws was what we use, but in this slavery mentality, you know, the name Willie Lynch wrote lynching letters, and that lynching letters, you break the spirit of the Negro, you keep him mentally dependent on the white person, but physically strong and able to serve the white man. So it's part of our westernization of our culture. So we can say, but the taboos, and now preserve those were the ways we told the cane is not our history. I read sociology in school, and this is clearly something we inherited through our slavery past. It's this is not something that helps in any way because it breaks a bubu akola nipa bano the cane ni we no maybe so edi anka makata say but I suffered a lot of abuse from my senior brother. My papa was not there in my life. To make me senior brother, I also feel he's doing the best he can for me by until I was around 18 years. And I know because of that, through school, I was never confident to stand in front of people until I got to uni, where I said, you know what, I need to go back for who I really am. So, and in doing my work, I've gone to several schools who say teachers are still beating people, and they say it's our culture, it's our culture. Today, on record, the word lynch comes from the name Willie Lynch. The lynching letters have been banned internationally. If you research it, you may not find it. Paul, but I'm telling you,
because of time, in your view, what are some of the children's perception of physical discipline in Ghana? Culture, because you work with street children and you meet these children on a daily basis. So, what are some of the things these children are saying in terms of their wishes and feelings?
In Colombia, I know so far in schools and on the street. They have been on the street because they were suffering a lot of abuse, physical, corporal punishment related. According to office rule, demonstration. I was engaging children there. And I said, I didn't know. I'll say.
Oh.
About 50% before, I don't know. We are
Can you repeat there because Ukate of Kakrantina among Obi and Tedio?
I say I'm engaging on the streets our demonstration. I didn't know what I was saying. About 50% before the Kotoviani. But one day, rest the kind of Kotoviano. The kind of where I have 5 cities to fire. No, but you say 50% car the way a bone 5 cities, the end of the Buno. It's the answer of the far or the not care one of our crack and over that demonstration. And I mean, a Kaka said, well, I know crazy about boom, but for my man, I'm in friend, I'm a friend of mammy. My announcement was central region in Yanato Mojakarano. I will tell my say, a one or bono before a jack indelible mark or calamity, and one thing always being kind. I don't find my choice or Sramia, me, talk on it, Jose. Obama found in San Canada, and Mino Cafe, our back in Sweden, almost our frame, Adam has said, Minya say futuro. So any parent who feel say at the Kitwa, me pata be wi adio but akwa Jenny no common e dey no say na girlfriend kan ye no ope bibi na edi but this say want to go entie ni entia oye no nti no na o di wa fa case ni so na o bro no ebema edinsu na so bebre e ba for bebre street because of corporal punishment akwa bi so e dey school because teacher ni no wo hu ade na ya fa case ni so ni e bo no yes you don't speak vernacular also what you know twi na ye kan yan kan go fu ofie school dem ya chota yo don't speak vernacular they twi na vernacular so kan twi ni afa case ni so e don't say school we dey onko bio etiro maintain school fees akwa no onye dey obedi our street or the school we say until extra classes fee to what case ni so go no I don't say from school etiro the corporal punishment angle e me dey pass GS about out board be can say dangerous practice because for us who work as street workers, corporal punishment is one of the deterrents. Emma the AJ school, ending up on the street. Emma me immunity as I say you can perform as an your school. This conversation will be out, you know, and we hear part because who put a grana or send in Hippediano. You so many the clear own Munano.
So what you are saying is so this thing is still happening. As far as you are concerned, Ghanaians feel say Ubu Akolana and obey a well-behaved child. So it's still happening.
Yes. Oh,
thank you.
In fact, teacher Frank Kasaka on national TV and radio said, no Nigerians they have some Krano. Training Korani. These are trained teachers. Thank you.
Joyce, you remember also by Barrister Linda baby. Paul is saying, the teachers are saying, no, we're not going to train these children. You're training because then what is the way forward around that?
It's about
because now teachers are saying, yes or no? You know, what can you do? Wayward.
No, but they don't. Which other countries beat children?
No,
I mean, there are some countries that do, right? But some countries that don't. Are any of those?
But the perception, I think Ghana no more the understanding of it, is becoming difficult area.
But it's about changing the mindset.
100%.
Everywhere is the same.
Yes.
It's about changing the narrative, right? Changing people's understanding of the consequences of it. We know. Okay, as Ghanaians, the consequence of beating your child is you get a better behaved child.
Yes.
That's it. But if I told you, if you beat your child will end up being emotionally damaged, they'll have mental health problems, they'll not be a helpful member of society, they'll be angry all the time, frustrated. If I started to
low self-esteem,
exactly,
100%. Yeah.
If I told you that those are the consequences of punishing your children, beating your children, maybe there's some people who will stop. Yes, exactly. So it's about teaching. It is always about teaching and educating because me sure say before the brave one, you understand?
Being an NDC member now, not this, What is
and
your government?
And no, okay. I'm not even going to go into the government aspect of it. And the reason why I'm saying that, I always tell you, Kofi, that I'm Ghanaian first.
Yes.
And I'm because I'm a youth talk show person,
yes.
and I'm a parent. And that's why I always use my experience as a catalyst to actually explain to people. Because with me, I had a lot of animosity towards my dad. Because of that, my dad threw me out of the house when I was at the age of 18.
And now the papa will happen.
No, my dad is dead, fortunately. My dad is dead. 100%. You see, when Paul was actually saying that the teachers in this country, there are kids that are more difficult than the kids in Ghana.
Yes.
Because as Barrister Linda said, you strip off the kids' self-esteem, you make the kids feel very timid. Teachers are not supposed. I'm not supposed to take my kids to school for the teacher to discipline my child. I'm supposed to take my kids to school for the teacher to teach their child. And that's the reason why in this country they've got detention centers. We got detention whereby when the kid misbehaves, you get detention. And if that child misbehaves,
so
you get excluded. The role is to teach
the kids. Interpreting their role.
That's the point, because there are certain teachers. The reason why with me, I'm seriously against somebody beating your child. Is because as a parent, when you hit your child, you actually have compassion. Not that you're beating it, but somebody that has not got any compassion for your child would use any anger or any emotional stuff, residual emotional stuff. The day are probably at home. Probably she's having a bad day. Probably her husband has left her. You know, there are lots of things that go into when a teacher comes to the school. Probably, seriously, their life is not going as it should. And then when the child misbehaves, sometimes it might not even be the child, but her venting out.
Is it a matter of Ministry of Gender and Protection of Children?
Yes.
Role?
Yes.
And then the role of teachers. Are they in conflict, Lordship?
I think there are two dichotomies here, two things here. Because if you look at UK, we don't need to compare. So they changed the law that nobody should be child should be physically chastised. Yes. But there is a stand to it.
And if you chastise them, my dear neighbor, police will be called.
There is a consequence.
That's it.
Okay. But the end product has been that we still have problems of children here. But the lack they have is that the system actually caters for them. Contrary to Ghana, the situation we are having in Accra with children on the street, like Paul was saying, that some of them have been beaten, they don't want to go. We don't have that system to cater for them. So we have to be mindful, in as much as we are preaching that physical punishment is not a good thing, which we all accept, the end of it is going to come and bite us.
But then teachers are saying that, hey,
hold on.
behavior.
No, it's a new
but
thing.
is it the role of the teacher to say that?
No.
The legislation is there, and then I will read from here that it says that as of June 2019, the Draft Children's Amendment Act
In Ghana.
2019 prohibited corporal punishment of children in schools. So they have no choice whether they like it or not.
Yes.
The onus is on them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on them to ensure that they go by what is acceptable form of punishment. Because here you either go into detention, you not come into the class, or you
get expelled.
You expelled, or you could be permanently excluded.
100%.
But the children here have a different perspective of what happens to them. Well, as we don't have. In the end, the system will cater for them. In Ghana, we are in danger now. Because if the child ends on the streets, nobody cares. So we have to find appropriate cultural method of disciplining the children. If corporal punishment is not the alternative now. And who are responsible? That's the question you pose. The department who are in charge, or the management of the social services, to ensure that these children are safe, should be held accountable, working in concert with the police to ensure that the children are actually well disciplined appropriately. Because the teachers, as they are saying, they have no alternative. Because if you did that, the consequence will be that you'll be expelled, or the police will come after you. And not emwa. Intisa teacher for no some no print number bonkola no bo my baby woman. Minim some contact.
Should this be part of formal training, which we will ask Godfred at some point? But before that, you per se, a tier for what we program, if you are with me, a cashier, unia, wadamfo, any friendship groups. Ubet my program, Ghana, ATV Ghana. Ada say wo ba, wo him fan baby I will be ano. Ubet me there are 2 TV, so at your own comfort. Now we are relaxed now here. And after ubet my programs you YouTube Omega Live TV ubenya YouTube, so ubet me nyan ho now ubet my ho. Thank you very much. And also on Facebook. Yeah, of course.
And he said, as a teacher for no class, or say, Emblana Banjo Monia Mandy, that is non starter. I was say almost Colana dear. Normal finding appropriate way of disciplining them, like here. Me sure said,
I'm feed them Colano, so be a threat to them. You know, their presentation is very threatening idea. Is it not training that they need?
Yes.
In terms of that. And I very help one understanding of dealing with safeguarding and child protection issues.
I'm sure, sir, the policy might have incorporated in it a training need for these children. What do you call it? These teachers, because even here, when they make the law, and then it has to be changed.
Yes.
The professionals have to go on training to change things. Like the new Domestic Violence Act 2021. There are certain things we social workers we have to go on training. Because there is now a session about domestic violence order.
Paul, works, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm not cutting you. Godfred works as a head of department for social welfare. And TNT free Godfred, what do you know? Godfred, what are you saying about this?
Okay, before Godfred intersects, because we're still waiting for Godfred. You know when he said, okay.
Godfred. He's talking, but he's not coming.
Is it called Godfred or Paul?
No, Godfred.
I think it's Paul you want.
Oh no, Godfred Suyejma.
Social service.
Okay, Godfred is here.
Yes.
Godfred, your signal is very low, but the question is this: frontline staff, what is their understanding of this physical discipline, and what is places like churches, schools' understanding of it as well?
We have a dire situation in Ghana in the sense that man Puno anka a social workers and I was picking into that department. Now so your situation in Ghana and then they say Ubia or be apply to work in the public sector, you please here near the Biaba social welfare. That is one of the difficulties. A sign is said the social work profession in Ghana is not yet chartered. We are fighting for just a professional body to work as a social worker of the diocese incident. And honestly, if you go to a lot of the departments that you don't have trained social workers working in the that is one of our our hurdles. Another one, the frontline staff. Ya fa nipa na ba adwuma mu no. Say ye be ye say ye be diatum say ni na ekona enye no. What the call oshia police are? How is the police also going to pick it up? Ebia police ni no ati wono no kra ko ba no kra no na ne buy.
Oh, banana buy then.
Suffer this injustice now what the brave police are now kwa say no goes around now what obi na wa bo na ba dia any as we then I mean can found that is a problem. That is one of the impediments yeshia ewo yeduma yin. Another one and so they say parents or bebo ne ba no won ne kwa ko kasa no prapo that attitude obe kire say me ba enti mabu na den na obetumi aye me what the parents no court na so okọ na say judge no ejeli na oba say fi ona when you rescue the child that you need place or facility aye den ne kwa shelter no enti no say wo arrest parents na give him say okoda jail police station kwa no sign be fear eya bofra no na wenya asem and you social worker and I say nipa na you were gracious enough to go and rescue the child.
So hold on Godfred. So the question is this, that if even parents misbehave na say omo bu omo mana still no say akola no ko report to kra na, that means akola no besa face a lot of pressure from the family members for reporting them. So where do we go from here then?
Hello.
Godfred, na me bisa no Paul. Sorry, Godfred. Na you better say about so why? You better say Godfred. We wait maybe why you know point no why. Okay. Then Paul, who bet me I to ask why? Because Godfred, you're losing.
Regarding personal visa, classical example be as paralegal here in Ghana. Na your baba kwa na your sheno. Na ne step ne auntie or ne auntie chamber auntie no e dey wire and e bono. Enti your social workers no ko sa kwa no ofie no. Ana mo di report in with pictures. Ana me my friend and man say no. yeah, social workers and Akrana, your body, but a man who can so bobo Akrana sa. And then the Casa and also on you. And children of San you. And my social workers in the court. In the court, you know, assemblymen and all these people came. You see, I have to make an example of the woman. The judge found her guilty and sentenced her to 6 months imprisonment, or she had to pay 1,200. That's why I make it 5 years. 1,200 was a lot of money. When she paid the money, just like Godfrey is saying, she was coming to me and said, I went back to court. The court brought an order to her. So, those of us who are educated and are privileged to be at the forefront of social work in this country, we have to start making examples of people.
Yes.
So that they know that the law, if you test it in Ghana, is there. It works. The judges will make it work. But we, the professionals, and everyone in this program should help champion and push people to the level of bringing them to understanding that the laws are there and they actually do work. That way, we can, as we teach people, we can correct them at the same time.
That is a good job. Well done, Paul, for that. What do you think about what Paul is saying, Lord Chief?
Oh, why are they pa? Sir, what should I say? Oh, you're born here. I was saying, you're trying to. Na, send all kind. And Brano, never say, yeah, you man. Send a teacher for you, say more monk for you, almost so much alliance, you know, or Monchladi, and only Hosa.
Yeah.
Now, I public, you know, mammy for no, I will phone and Colani now soon say, a Bruno and ya dear papa, into a bibo I was already or report to. Now, and some I will be report to no sooner, so I was our plan, so I careful. Said ABI, make her reporting. That's a man, no, I'm a Ghanaian near my day.
So Hannah Baye,
like
an issue now, challenge for us as a country as well.
Yes.
Say when Senkolano, ebe report wa. They said your poor cano, or ebe report ma mini bit maka so one here Apolan. But you the professional, we had your poor year na or the case no sako court. Oh, then the Mameno was for say you have a responsibility for it.
Which to some extent, you know, I may question that as to in the wisdom of the judge.
Yes.
Because this child is at risk of significant harm
in
the family home by living there. And because there is no alternative to place the child, the judge in his or her own wisdom felt that no, the child has to go back. So if something accidentally happens to this child, what would be the consequence of that judgment?
Don't go to jail.
No. What needs to happen is that the child stay in an environment when you're happy. Is that where it can be very, very kind of difficult environment in the sense that would the Akolana cautious environment? Mammy in Pakolan will feel, or Papa some pain will feel, now could Janet to her, or move a tan in my own, a bear fitting so many different ways.
So that was a bad.
What the judge did was that Okache said, since we have the child under our keep, we should keep doing our monitoring every 3 months. And if any harm or be emotional or physical is brought to the child, we should come to court. Until the son come back and say, also on track around, and the judge gave an order for the police to invite her.
Is the legal basis for this, Linda?
But yeah.
Hold on, let's look at the legal. Okay, finish.
Just so yeah. I think Barrister Linda will come in. But if you look at the judgment, I will question the integrity of this judgment, because even here, no judge will order. And I had Krumhano. Judge be any how we can say, Mamma no abone ban. Near her, who said, a Koran Baha, Mamma no best have Bunny be more. Or Jack Crime there, ever call him.
Even Judge, what in the police rule ever have Paul and say, Mamino, police for caution, and I say, Omochino. For the Oyeno.
She was cautioned. She was invited to the court. She was cautioned. She was she was asked whether what it said is true, the pictures and everything. She said she was guilty, and then they pronounced the sentence. That this is the consequence of what you have done. It's either 6 months or you are going to have to pay this amount. So they have to mobilize, come and pay. She was cautioned that she cannot treat the child that way. Almost the family tribunal, but all of us who were interested in the case were also counseled to follow up and make sure that this child is safe. particularly what you said in Ghana, we do not have shelters or centers where you can say it's a state shelter and you are referring the child.
Yes, Paul. I'm not doubting the validity of your argument that there was no place to place this child and all that. So if God forbid, for religious reason, if something had happened to this child, what would be the judge's position? Right. I mean, this can claim international.
But I still disagree. Sorry, it's just everybody is saying what I said. You see, the thing is, people forget that yes, the laws are there. The woman was supposed to follow the law. She didn't follow the law. Okay, the judge made a decision, and everybody is going on about, oh, the woman doesn't want the child. Nobody told her to have that child. The thing is, the system is there to protect the child, and if that mother says she doesn't want the child, who asked her to have that child? You see, the thing is, sometimes we do this softly approach, whereby, oh, the woman and the dad say we don't want to have that child. The funny thing is, with me, the way I see all this is, we're supposed to have a workshop. Because with me, I always keep saying that I use myself as an example. And I know kids that they've been abused. I think if we have workshops, because now I feel that we should start trying to find solutions to the narrative. Because now we're discussing, oh, this person feels that way. The thing is, if we have workshops of people that have been abused, like previous siblings that have been abused,
the children are going through that abuse, and
or the people that they've been through it. If we have a workshop whereby the parents are there, the children are there, the people that are older in the siblings, we have a proper workshop, then the parents will get to understand. Because you know one thing, when we talk about being timid, because certain kids have actually internalized it, sometimes the parents feel that because my kid was compliant, so that actually made my kid sort of assert themselves to be disciplined, and I've actually fulfilled stuff. But these are the reasons why we got loads of men that they abuse their wives and they abuse their children, because it becomes a knock-on effect. So with me, I'm looking for the change in the narrative. Yes. No, I'm talking about Ghana.
Yes. The baby support say in this situation, Mame no, oko training biana.
That's it.
What man bibi a obeye mananya aleni from the past mistakes.
Or if you have previous children,
say be a high co-parenting classes
100%.
What assessment was done? Now, Paul, are you there? And I said Godfred, and I Joyce.
Yeah, I am here. I'm back now. Also here.
Okay. Say Paul, we are not Godfred Waba. Madam Paul.
Yeah, the woman was not. Unfortunately, we don't have a parenting school in Ghana. That's the reality here. We don't. Unless Godfred or Joyce have. Make
Entina, programs like this on Ghana, ATV Ghana, and Omega Live TV. Say yes, so you programs like this to educate the community, to help them. And these are some of the things I say in everything I did. SUM be a free moon. Say your community no be learning. Every Saturday, wherever you are, don't miss this program. It's very, very important. Including government, including churches, including schools, all organizations. As a group, ATV Ghana, Child Protection in Ghana. Thank you, Paul. Over to Marcos.
Yeah, it's when they from my girlfriend, my young girlfriend, Vivian Sharp. That's why my girlfriend, my senior colleague Joyce, Ghana said, do we have any parenting structures, or if they were in court, what would they have advised different, or what would they have wished happen like different from the scenario that we are dealing with now? And see, so your permission, Kofi. That's why my girlfriend, Joyce.
Yo, girlfriend, man, Anna Joyce. Joyce, Godfred, hold on, why? Joyce, Yentin and Kanti, where yes, no, I'm Yentin and Karibi. Joyce, Baleko, why? Yes, no, you small introduction, thank you. Thank you.
I've been on the background.
I try to you want the pro.
My internet hasn't been too good, but I've been listening to every conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Good conversation going on. Yes, with the issue on rescue of children that have been abused in their very homes. So on mama kasa na papa na that kind of thing. Normally when the child is withdrawn, the child is not immediately returned to the same environment. The child is placed in a shelter. Yes, we know that the shelters are not available, but at least in Accra we have one. And we know that apart from the government shelter where we can normally place such children for a time, because the child also has gone through some trauma, just like the case that Paul has presented. Yes, that child, I'm not too sure if that particular moment the child was with the mother while the case was in court, because obviously the child will suffer victimization, stigmatization, and further abuse in such an instance. Because yes, Paul and his people were monitoring, but yes, the child herself will feel uncomfortable. So normally what the state does or what the court does is to remove that child from that home temporarily. Now, to the issue of shelter and home, where we can place that child for a temporal period. Now, what we are promoting is fostering. Okay, so every district we are encouraging, and I'm sure Godfrey is also trying to go by that. If you don't have a shelter in your district, what you do is you promote alternative care, which we call fostering. Okay, you identify people within the community, and they have the heart and the space and the economic power to take care of additional child in their homes. So temporarily, the measure is to take such a child from the home environment and place with the foster care system.
If assessment suggests that maybe Mami no so yes some work be of fear obetimi atena, do you have a program, for example, so be or misuse alcohol and be or no sa no bro and be a man bro neba nintino onya support in that area a bit my help obi or be a mental health obi also a anger obi also because of pressure of life and you know yes and which we will come into it to that are there programs, more programs or learning programs parents can go to?
Kofi Sano Okaya no, Ministry of Gender, I put certain measures in place. It is a say, the case may be eco quota. The first thing before the child returns to that home is for that parent to go through parenting skills. Parenting skills 30 hours.
Oh, okay.
So mandatory that parent.
That is very good. That 30 hours parents have to go for training.
Other problems. Yes, so it is there. It is there that Ghana is practicing. So such cases, for now, they go to court. The parents are referred to social welfare for them to go through parental training.
Oh, okay. That is very good. Godfrey, do you have something to say about that as well? Utu will be calm about it. Godfrey. Godfrey, are you there? Lord Chifu,
yes.
Hello? Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
You man called Godfrey.
Yeah, send an American with the Joyce Kayano. Very true. It is happening. But maybe they are in the rural area. Well, now rural area no. Obia ni mobia. So ebia abofra bi yira no be pie ha na ye de koma we foster parent a eno de obeje na wa atu ma bofra ye nim se eja manu ne ba ni asemesi we eja manu fie me yi na kwa koma ante abna o ye foster madam ante abna because of stigmatization and we your friends say aroba shisha ye be shisha no into like obe feel oh abufra we dey mean to mean and you cannot force a voluntary work find foster parents may send me yi rescue abufra echire na abufra ne be ka so na wo say be fi enchi ekọ takra de edi abufra ekọ place abufra no wo this is one at foster boo.
my own cost. It's like a mechanic me jana na asem to abofra the government will come back to ask me. In the was me here me paper mechi. Me ko takrade na me de abofra no ko share regional director.
At the same time no who use usika and out there na say anybody niska then what will be the position?
Exactly.
That is a problem. Well, it's like a word na wakwa fa abofra no ne papa enka say oh jisika ina pa ko sha abofra na dan say jisika ina pa ya abofra hu ne oda bi wo e na wo say wo gina mra so wa ba be kam abofra no fa ko fa ne ye ne awope enti no abofra no me de no ko foster mother yi ho o say enya dia obe de be obetu ya sign say onim efi abofra ne fi meba e na community na anka say mu nsuso no your friend is saying Avroba Shisha Ebe Shisha no and also so on to mean that it's now before about the camera means it was a then Tapra their question regional director and sir.
Do you get a refund of your money?
Your council Ebushiano council it wasn't easy. As I said, our voice a Woodnam Rash one also so agina or say or your neighbor. On Tias yes Abufrane a buying this year. I buy na shishembra protect abofra no.
Your interest viewer and the public so interest viewer because of so big crap so join professional. Now no usika na wutua no. Did you get it back in a form of say via what expenses? A bit amount and I say you don't get it back.
Hello.
Hello. Godfred. Okay, thank you. Lord, you go to your
and I've understood everything. But the problem we have in Ghana now, which my PhD research is on, is kinship care. All these things that we are doing, did they look into the family, whether somebody was there to help this child? That wasn't mentioned. Like we say, charity begins at home.
So, or can we say, a German sentinel? Area holding it down apart from foster Obia and Peso Beba home.
No, one can say or say was say outside of Bian Peso Beba.
Yeah.
Now one can say within the family. Did they exploit like here the children at 1989 in UK? The welfare of the child is of paramount importance. And within all proceedings, first they have to look into the family.
Which is true.
Which we have the rules. In Ghana, unfortunately, kinship care being ubiquitous everywhere, there is no legislation about kinship care. And that's one of the things that my PhD research is going to recommend. So if there was something, a framework like that, these social workers could have gone into the family to explore whether there is any family within the family, somebody is able to support them and place this child. They've forgotten completely about whether there's somebody in the family and went outside. Within the family, it's easier than to go outside. And like you said, the perception is that the community knows who everybody, and nobody wants to accept Kofi Mensah's card. But Kofi Mensah's family member would accept the child as they are. Like one of the importance of kinship care is that family members fix the child. That's not, no matter how difficult that particular child is, they will accept the child. So my thing that I will be looking into is Paul and then the affair is that in your practice, please. I know there's no legislation framework because this is one of the things I'm banging on that the government brings something.
Okay.
Thank you, Kofi. Yeah, and I take for some motivation. The American say, me research now, me PhD now, me person I buy money who say, yes, sir, or them rabiba. And my social workers who say, oh, so. Bibia obeye bia na osa hwehwe abusuan mu kra ansa na waye den wakoba bi foforo na ebinom be ka se abusuafo no kra bi kra o makra na be den e be boa ma akwala na say entisa you need that evidence. The evidence is there can be children are grow up within the family environment. So in subsequent cases I think I would suggest that you look into the family dynamics before you go out.
Now with you you call Lord Chiefs in here, but I won't say no account. Lord Chief, in Ghana, a lot of families obi ha onye adwuma onye adwuma I just say me pese Paul ne Godfred and Joyce Sotie obi ha onye adwuma sika o de be feed ne ba no problem enti say expect say enkola be didi the rights of children to be fed adequately say to maintain the bibia and the basic lifestyle. That's a parent in Yejuma. A lot of them no e pushi omo. Many lady bi kasa me be program or see when mobia ne ba no or 15 16 years they push them into men. E bi no so no omo ko beg go street to eat. E bi no and people have been abused and kolana they are abusing them because of this.
Yes.
Because parents in this car also e bi no class people male udidi also udidi anopa obedidi anwumre ana anopa no na akoye wia na akoye anwumre e ho ne hobisa akola come de no hwe on na namosa onidi sa bobe 12 ansa na wadidi 12 na je se wata bosisa na wadidi na come de no why dry why skinny where do we go from here with this life?
Yeah, Kofi, that is very good. But also who said problem where it's not particular to Ghana.
But you concentrate, you can't asem no you
can't. So if say Britain for Britain and American for no be a deal.
The Roman will be near you can't see a manisco.
But
oh common no.
Sometimes can answer.
Do you know what baffles me?
Oh be answer. Where the only
crash so no. Those who are even satisfied, they are still being abused. Anyway, abuse is abuse. So you have to be mindful of that. That is not confined to only Ghana.
But I mean,
but I think that I think you're actually missing the point. Actually, we're actually talking about Ghana now, and the reason why I say that is you get ministers. No, you're making a comparison.
Yeah.
No, but I agree with that. But I'm just saying that at this present moment, it's kind of like you can only rescue the person that is in front of you. Basically, that is my.
Street, you can
we talk about there's no money, it's not this. If you really, and then this is where I go to the political aspect, whereby a minister, if you look at his wages, his salary, the excess that he gets, all these stuff. I remember there was a comment that was made that they said if the ministers stop driving V8s, they will have enough money to support the hospitals. And the reason why I make that statement is a V8 that is not customed, is $83,000. The custom is $100,000, Now they get saloon cars, they get extras that they get. Why can't they take these monies? Sometimes, and these are not even in cities. Why don't they take these monies? Because we've got social workers, kids sleeping on the street. We've got all these stuff, and we keep saying that, there's no money. We get excess money that is wasted, whereby these can go into actual. Sometimes what even baffles me is, do people actually understand that these kids are the future, that you're actually letting them perish? Because when we're talking about laws, we're talking about this, and we're talking about the sustainability of our future. Because we don't have kids for them to perish. We have kids so that they continue our legacy, they continue working. Because they say a child that is productive. They should. You see, the thing is, that's why I keep saying that we should make sure that these ministers, when we talk about comparison, you wouldn't see an MP here in a V8. You either buy a little car.
What does that got to do with Nkolano?
What I'm saying is these monies, I'm looking at how resources can be taken and redistributed in areas that are necessary. That is what my thing is.
That's very good, my learned friend. That you've done that, yes. Very good. But on the contrary, it is not. Exactly, confused. I think, and yet only MPP government.
I wasn't talking about MPP. Hold on. That is why I said any MP. If you realize, I didn't actually tag anybody.
No, I'm just.
Okay.
I mean, you see the trajectory of my argument.
All right, fair enough.
From since independence, Ghana, this issue has been there. Politics and money has always been there. I hope one day the managers of the country, their mindset will be changed, so that we will get to the state. Our best say or mine then So the issue about V8 and all that it cannot be changed now. But we need to make yes, we need to sing, into their tunes to see that these are the present fundamental issues that the children are facing, and then gradually the policies will be made in such a way that it can benefit.
Yeah, can say in street more. Into urgent situation. What is the way forward, Linda? What is happening here? Since 1957, Kolani Street, Yenya independence, I check papa. In Street, come the Mammy for no be her, or Mani Bakra, Quakoya, Shawu Niba, or Pamono ko wouldn't be Obicachem. Or see, or Mammy Catchen, say, Sikanibi Tiquanos or shop. It was sorry, or Manisha short skirt. Uncle Chum, Papa Lefrel. I pass 1 day, Papa Lefrel. 1 day, Papa Lefrel. I feel like I say, Sikana Papa never man, or no. This child was being abused, but the mother actually said, "What the bus uncle? No uncle yard, I call shop, I call skirt, short skirt, amano, blouse, a body, no uncle tremble, Papa ni fear anymore." It's very sad.
It's very sad, and
you see, the thing is that we're talking about sort of two slightly different things. We're talking about corporal punishment, so we're talking about abuse. Yes, exactly. And then we're now talking about looking at other forms of abuse.
Yes.
Neglect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Parents are on your Now, how does it obey
2017, UNICEF and Ghana government got together, said no, program of education, program of learning, teaching parents, etc. The question is, what has been the result of that initiative?
Precisely.
Policy.
Yes.
Where are we today in Ghana with those policies, those ideas? Those are the things that perhaps the social workers and people on the ground can talk to us about the improvement. Has there been improvement? If there hasn't been improvement, we need to change direction, look at other policies.
What
other surveys have been done?
Whatever feedbacks, whatever updates. Yes.
There have been a lot of these types of initiatives before. They will continue.
Yes.
Next 2 years, 5 years, even another initiative, something new, maybe for member. But the question is, how is that actually working on the ground?
Precisely.
Because if it doesn't work,
Joyce,
we need to change.
Exactly.
Joyce, who will go first, Anna? In this, Paul.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you learn that canon?
Which in the kind of is a bad street situation in there. It's not the case that the leaders are not aware. They are very much aware. Yeah, vice president or different charity work towards street children. And our promises building shelter, day shelter, our book for street children. And NGOs, any academia, with street children of Ghana, we have come together to kind of like create a union or something of a sort. And we have appealed to the vice president to even meet and say we want to share ideas, because as I speak with you, the Labour Commission, the unit of the Ghana Ministry of Labour, have issued an advert on radio, national radio, that if you find children working in labour on the street, report them to the police so they are arrested. So we are trying to meet them in the coming week to understand how this whole program is working. And it was surprising and shocking to us that they are doing this without the Department of Social Welfare involved. They are doing this without all the NGOs working with street children or child labor related NGO involved. So it kind of like a fire to say, a surprise. If you say from European Union and the Ministry of Labor, and they wouldn't involve key stakeholders like this. I mean, the point I'm trying to agree to is Google child labor. I won't say the diplomatic corps for Ghana have an agenda against anti-child labor by 2025, which is ideally a good thing. But the local expertise, those of us who are out there facing the issue on an 8 to 5 basis, we have not been engaged in any way. So it looks like a westernized idea that is being implemented in a wrong way, because the locals have not, the experts have not been involved. In America, say this issue can be solved. The solution is there. I have been doing this for 10 years, and in fact, among the NGOs working with street children, I'm here for 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, and so forth. And we have the solution. We have done family tracing up to the north. We have worked with families. We have empowered families. You can say law. But we also try to build an understanding with people, give them reasons to why things should not happen a certain way. I will just say the law. When you want to rule people with fear, when you are gone, they will do the very thing you say they should not do. But when you rule people with reason, like with the way we are advocating right now, that you don't rule our children with fear, beating, and all of that. Well, that's what we are doing from the legal point. Why now you do say until you the fear. But you comfort said, if a stay, you're more friendly, anything competing at a global stage. The percent quality go to school. The percent you should show people the ideas of what the end goal is in this plan. Then people can buy into it, and even in our absence, people will be willing to do it. But the way we are going, it doesn't seem like there's coordinated work. It doesn't seem like the department itself is recognizing that there are people who are doing this, and everything just looks like sporadic actions. We'll be up here for the cameras. Let me feed street children. Let me do something for street children. Let me win votes. But the real power rests with the people listening to us. So we have to let them know, say, if you want your children not to be on the street, make it an electoral issue.
Precisely.
Your MP is coming to you. Let them know that if you don't take care of the children and the children get off the street, we are going to vote you out of power.
That's
you are
what I wanted to say, yes.
You are whoever wants our power. Our children are on the street. We are not going to vote for you. When you make it an electoral issue, people will act, and they will act in the favor of what you want them to do. But the people have not understood it. So they think that we are just trying to bring law and scare them up. So we as the social workers on this panel and having this platform, we need to do a lot of education and getting people to understand.
Thank you, Paul.
We are trying to achieve.
Thank you. Linda,
not here
you
to make their life uncomfortable. We are rather here to make their lives better.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah. What's your Paul Cano here? What?
I think the point that he's making is that, look, the laws need to be put in place. There needs to be coordination. There needs to be understanding between stakeholders. There needs to be cooperation. Yeah. So we start from the beginning. We start, as you said, 1957, going on and on year after year. Implementation of one law after another. Again, the question still stands: what has it taught us? Don't get me wrong. I don't think we're perhaps as bad as we would have been. We were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. As time goes on, people are becoming educated. People are aware that there are other ways to discipline children. Teachers can't beat children
100%
anymore. That is a significant step. Yes, indeed, shift. From when I went to school in Ghana for a few years. Yes, I saw the cane for the first time.
Okay.
Did you get a shock? Yes, I did.
How did you feel though? You know, going from Ufri UK, Laoko, Ghana.
Yeah.
Now we go school. Teacher Yafa cane. In the UK, it never happened. AMT. Now we call you Ghana. The Yakofa no one is involved. Now we feel it. How did you feel?
You know the interesting thing. Slightly take a step back. Is when I was in school here, we were just coming to the end of corporal punishment.
Okay.
So there was still corporal punishment, but it only had to be by the head of the school.
Okay.
And I remember getting a boy into trouble once when I was in primary school, last year primary school, and he was sent to the headmaster's office. Okay. And what I know happened is he got the slipper. That's what I saw. So he was actually beaten with an implement. Okay. Yeah, in this country. Okay. So in my mind, I had an idea that such a thing can happen. It's because Ghana, when I was in school, because in Ghana I went to secondary school at the age of 15. And yes, everyone was coming from lunchtime, and we were late. So the teachers standing up with the cane, and I'm looking at this thinking, well, he's going to hit me with this thing. So he told me, he said, kneel down there and beat me on my back.
Okay.
10. But I had a lot of discipline at home. So hitting me alright, please. No, my
Yes.
dad is what this isn't anything. So I didn't cry, I didn't flinch. It didn't work for me. 10, go on then. And boom, 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 boom. 10 in turn. Then I'm finished, and then I walked off. That's the end of it. But my understanding of corporal punishment and all of that when I was a child growing up, to me it was part of the course. It's what happens.
Yes.
So if you misbehave,
Yeah.
you get beaten. Luckily for me, I don't believe, unless someone tells me different, that there's been any negative consequences for me. But that's because it depends on what it is. There was
Yes.
no other neglect at home.
Yeah.
There was no other abuse. There wasn't. My parents weren't calling me a useless child or anything
Yeah.
like that and making me feel bad. They said, "You've done this wrong, so therefore you're to be punished."
So, and this is where I go by. There's a difference between abuse. There's a difference between discipline, and sometimes it actually goes over
Yes.
the spectrum.
Yes, that's the
of
problem.
that's the thing. Is it goes over the spectrum, and you know what Paul said. You know when he was talking about, you see, we are not supposed to wait for the next election before we actually get the people out of office. Because if we vote for anybody that comes in, and you're supposed to actually deliver, even when you're working in an organization, and you go to work, and your department is not performing, they actually get rid of the manager or the person that is in charge. So with me, what Paul is saying is we're talking about monies allocated, because I bet in every department there's money that is allocated for specific stuff that has to be done. So if that minister or whoever has been appointed for that department is not fulfilling their duties, I feel they have to be removed. Because at this present moment, what has happened is the complacency of anybody that takes an office does not do their job. They still continue to get their benefits, their rewards, their wages. So it becomes kind of like a knock-on effect that everybody that comes. But if we start now,
structural change.
Very structural, because everything is fragmented.
Yeah, Musa Godfred. So what you think about what Paul was saying? He's not there anymore. Joyce, is Joyce there? Joyce.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard Ute Diana Paul Okano. With the idea for your best yeah, apologies because rainfall in Ghana. It's so heavy pa affected reception in Ghana.
Yes.
Yes, Remo at for why? Yes, Remo with you. Joyce, Malenko.
Yo, me that's it. I don't quite know what woman is saying. If you money there, yeah. But sign upon Kaya, no. The uncoordinated approach of serving the poor and also come na yebre. Yes, Emrano de Waho. Emrano say in the schools don't use corporal punishment. In fact, Ghana has made a law to stop corporal punishment. But they are still doing it. Teacher for every in
parents now. But Omo because corporal punishment there can be the only because of that, you know, Nkolano only get omo. Just a woman is a couple a lot of youth crano involved in crime.
Yes.
Oh, because a come dinner obako huru be what? Or if you na no if you say the city house if you ready anyway. Enti obahuri akọ ohwefie we ya osifie we yesiesie the cover aduane be ho obakọ akakọpa aduane abegidi because a come dey how do we deal kwan be so na say muhwe amoma experiences of it with poverty issues no any a way forward around it at the moment, you know, and no me koye and I koye around that. Is it working or things are not? Once a while was three.
Yeah. But we have to make us say things are not working. We can say that things are working, but we are unable to do much. But a lot of pro-poverty interventions. A lot of them are existing to the extent that apart from the LEAP, are benefiting about 13,000 households in Ghana. apart from that LEAP program, the government has also established a secretariat called the Social Protection Secretariat. With the hotline, there is a hotline. I can make it available to you. With that hotline now, anybody who thinks he is so poor and unemployed and need government intervention can call in, or any member of the public can call the toll-free line to the Social Protection Secretariat at the Ministry of Gender and can receive some support. In fact, there are people who have received a surprise money through mobile money, and it is based on a survey that government has done. That is the Ghana National Household Survey. The outcome was just released about a week ago. The Ghana National Household Survey now but I know what we say, to identify the extreme poor that do not have any source of livelihood, so that they can be hooked to the social protection interventions. So, we are not able to reach out, and the key
me question we have because of your time, no. Now we are interagency working in Ghana. You mentioned because Sakola and involved with the court case of physical discipline. We go through interagency working. Now, in your view, how successful is interagency working in Ghana to investigate and undertake assessment to protect the welfare of children in child abuse cases? How successful it is? In 1 minute, because since your time we need to know. Who analyze in 1 minute? We give everyone 1 minute. Thank you.
Me that say.
Thank you.
Make us say eye juma. Make us say eye juma. Eye juma, and they say.
And tomorrow no department. Put many police for eye juma. Put many school.
Social welfare for it is our integrated social services are being supported by UNICEF, but it is not being supported in all the districts. In the district in Libya, some facility the staff are not trained for them to render effective service to the people. So only the districts that have received the training to effectively do intersectorial work, or who are trained to know the referral pathways. But intersectorial collaboration, it is very weak, and it is one of the key reasons why the vulnerable and the poor are not reached effectively. So if we can strengthen the social protection system by training all the social workers within the district, say Ghana district BI social welfare office. But have they been?
Yeah, that was it. Thank you, Lord Chief.
Yeah.
Who view about interagency working?
Yeah, it's I mean, a custodian here, but I'm a bit disappointed. But I stand to be collected. Say, Sikana almost say orange or ministry hold. I didn't know almost I didn't decentralizing money a social service, not social workers in dealing with it. Because I have said, even the very poor, who are social worker allocated there, you go through your social worker.
Precisely.
And that, so that should be taken into consideration. And then we are doing summary now. Physical chastisement has never been a good thing, but we have to be mindful as to how culturally form of discipline that could be used to discipline our children. And I'm also glad that there is this sort of fostering initiative coming on. But I suggest that they should look into the family very well, because once you have the family, it's better than going outside to look for people to look after a child. And then also with the laws that are being made, I mean, like the issue about daycare, they cannot punish; residential homes, they cannot punish; schools, they cannot punish. I know in the penal institutions they can punish, but the law did not mention about punishment in the home. That is an issue that has to be looked into as well, because once parents are not aware exactly what they need to do, the very thing that we are preaching against will continue. And I hope this message will go down into the.
Thank you, Lord Chief.
Okay, mine is I think workshops should be set up for parents, and even though she's saying that there's parenting programs, are the social workers aware of this? Because we talk about them not working together as because everything is fragmented. Is there any platform whereby the people that are in the forefront, which are the social workers, are they getting the information that these are like, when you were talking about social workers, you were talking about how any information is sent through you. So if you've got a parent or if you've got a family that having problems, they know that you can give them a link to actually go. Is that being done in Ghana? You see, because without this being done, it's pointless, because if you're saying that we can't do it because it's only in a certain sector, the people that are actually suffering are the people in the outskirts, the people in the rural areas. Yeah. So are there any way of any programs or any structure that's been done? Because when you say that, oh, it's being done, it's not being done, because the kids that are suffering are the kids that are coming from the rural areas and coming into the city. Are the parents that they're so frustrated that their kids are going through so much that they take it out on their children. So I believe that this platform now, currently, we are trying to find solutions to try and change the narrative. Because if we don't find a solution, then what we're saying and what we're doing is pointless. And that's where I stand from. Yeah.
Linda.
Thank you. I'm in some admiration that Ghana has tried, I think, with some of the rules and regulations. You wouldn't think so for maybe the conversation.
100%, yes.
But no, I think credit where credit's due in terms of, as I said earlier, the corporal punishment now not allowed. The certain sectors where you can't punish, and children are vulnerable. And we try to put some laws in place. So something's happening. We just need to perhaps strengthen those laws, include, as the Lord Chief said, we've got to look at also in the home and actually legislation there. Yeah. Perhaps, because even that's debatable as to whether that's the right thing for a country such as Ghana. Yes. But at the very least, what we need to do is educate. We 100%. Need to, as you asked earlier, bring the institutions together. Yep. Because we all have a lot of ideas, we all have a lot of energy, but then I go and start my organisation, you start yours, and then there's no unity.
Coordination.
Yeah, exactly. And then government should come in and help those organisations to be centralised. Precisely. So that we all work together. Of course, we all have these non-governmental organisations, but we're also talking about ones that are in as well as out. And government should be not only controlling to some extent, but guiding also those organisations so that there is unity, because at the end of it, we're saying that the child is central to this.
100%.
And that is the only way to protect children, is if we all know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and who we're doing it for.
Thank you. Joyce, who will be cancer close off? Paul is there. Okay. Thank you. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Yabeda Munyinase for this program, and we will see you next week. We will continue with young people at almost in Omo Hospital. Oh, wow. You pay or you die. Wow. Until next week, we will be looking at you pay or you die. And you will be now in Saudi Akolana Hospital. We need to be Akolana wedding. How you will move forward with that. Thank you very much, and good night to everyone. Good night. Good night, all the crew in Ghana ATV. Good night, Paul. Good night, Joyce and Godfred.
Okay.
Barrister Linda, Beatrice, Lord Chief. Thank you very much. Good night, all. Good night.
Okay. To send money to your mobile money wallet or bank account.